So guys, story time for when I had my Hyperemesis Gravidarum is this week. So if you want to hear what I have to say, keep on watching. But before you do, please make sure you subscribe to my channel and make sure you leave a comment down below and give the video a thumbs up. I wanted to go over Hyperemesis Gravidarum and what I actually went through with it. So before I found out I was pregnant, I found out at 9 weeks pregnant, but prior to that, I was going through a lot of stuff, like things were going psychedelic, and every time I'd be walking, things would it would feel like if it was crashing. I don't know how to explain it, but it was very weird. So at 9, I think I was 8 weeks pregnant. 8 weeks pregnant, I had lost my job, so I was actually going on a job search, and I went up to our local job fair without eating breakfast. And on my way back, I had to stop in at Wimpy's and beg the lady for some food because I only had $1.75. So she gave me a pop and a bran muffin. And I was basically crying. I said to her, I don't even know what's wrong with me. I don't feel well. And anyhow, on my way home, I was praying because I thought I was going to fall, or I was going to pass out in the middle of the street or on the sidewalk. I was really scared. I got home, I relaxed. Actually, on my way, I was praying and I said, God, if you get me home, I'll go to the doctors. I'll go to the doctors. So when I got home, I actually sat in the living room and cried. I was scared that something was wrong. Anyhow, fast forward, I find out that I'm 9 weeks pregnant. So by the time we find out, it's 1 week had passed. So now we're 10 weeks pregnant. And then I started vomiting. I think I vomited at 10. And it was just like 1 or 2 vomits. And so my doctor's receptionist said to me, oh, it's just morning sickness. She's like, I know it's not in the morning, but that's what they call it. She says, if it persists, then you need to let us know. So I think it went on for an hour and then it stopped. So I was fine. And then maybe the next day or a couple of days later, it went from 10, now it's 9. And then it would stop before 12, and then it started at 8, and I would try and lay in bed thinking that I was out tricking it, and it just went, and it would go for that 3 hours. Like, you'd have breaks in between, but you'd vomit, if you want to talk about a trigger, and then it would stop, and then it would go on, keep going, and then stop, keep going, stop. It was crazy. And so then my husband came and was like, what's going on? Like, I was just sitting in one spot. So then they tell me, oh, you probably have this, and explain to me what it was. And they said that if it gets worse, I have to let them know. Well, it got worse. I think it started from 8 o'clock in the morning until 3, and it just kept, the time kept expanding, and the duration of the vomits and the breaks in between. And so when it first started, I tried drinking water. I'd vomit up the water. I went and I drank pop. I went and drank juice. Then I went to the store and I bought all the colored Gatorades, all the type of pops that they had there. And I think I got 3 different waters, and I brought them home and I drank vomit. And one of them fuzzled up out of my nose. And then I realized that I can't drink anything. So I stopped drinking, which then means that you're going to get dehydrated because you're vomiting. And from that, my doctor told me that this is what you have. And he said, and on top of all of that, I also had bad gas, and I had the spits. And I had the burps. I was burping, spitting, and passing gas. And the gas was deadly. And the spit was nonstop, so my mouth was always watery. They told me that it's probably the metal taste that's creating the water. So when I was serving at church, I had this little bag that I'd have to spit and put it in. And then someone went, and one of the ladies at the church that was doing cleaning, she went and cleaned a stall for me and locked it so no one would go in there, so that if I had to vomit, I could just go in and vomit. Because part of the issue with vomiting in a toilet, it's nasty. In our house, I went and I got all new toilets in the house so that I wasn't vomiting in the older toilets that were here, because it was just creating the vomit to accentuate. So I think by 3 months, they established that it was a severe case of hyperemesis. And my doctor said that he can prescribe something. So 3 months goes by. Then he said, okay, I'm going to give it to you 4 months. Then 4 months go by. It's like, I can't give it to you for 4 months. I have to give it to you for 5. 5 months went by, 6. And meanwhile, I'm vomiting all day. And so he explained to me, he said, listen, I prolonged it because it's not really good for the baby, but it's not good for you to be vomiting. So one of the things that happened was, when I went for my checkup, they actually check your dehydration. So what happened was my dehydration level was close, meaning that I would have been hospitalized. My first initial vomit, the receptionist at my doctor's office said, oh, ask your mom if she had morning sickness. So I phoned my mom, I asked my mom, and my mom was like, oh, yeah. I'm thinking, Mom, you couldn't possibly forget that. And I heard her morning sickness was really bad. And my mom told me, whatever you vomit, you eat. So if you vomit out food, go and replenish food. If you vomit water, go replenish water. Don't, because that means that that's what your body needs, right? My doctor also told me, she's like, don't worry about the baby. The baby is there to survive. Worry about you, because the baby's making sure it eats. You're the one that's not getting food. And I think that I kept losing weight. I think for my whole pregnancy, I gained 15 pounds. But my doctor was very impressed with me. He said I did an excellent job, because the baby came out. My daughter was 7 pounds, something ounces. Can't remember what the ounces is right now. But yeah, it was hard. So by 6 months is when he gave me the diclectin. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. And then I had to take 4 pills per day, morning, noon, mid-afternoon, and then evening before bed. Now, the one that I took in the mid-afternoon made me vomit more than all of the sessions that I had. So I had to take that one out. Now, when you use medication, what I used was not to stop the vomiting. I didn't realize that. It was actually to reduce it. So instead of vomiting like 30 times in a span of whatever, an hour or whatnot it was, I was vomiting like 10 times. So it was, and then it reduced down. I remember one time I actually only vomited like 10 times throughout the whole day, opposed to the hour span, which was nice. But yeah, and so after vomiting so much, I vomit up the water, I vomit up food. So normally you vomit up your liquid food, then you vomit up the dry food, and those foods that have the acid that burns your throat. Then I was vomiting up the water, and guys, I'd vomit up air. Air was really hard, because air was like a air bubble inside that needed to be popped. And you know, when it comes out, it's like it stretches your vocal cords. And then I vomit up blood, because I was vomiting so much. And then they had to give me something to try and stop the bleeding. It was just, and yeah, I went back. I think I got pregnant 5 times after that, and I had two sessions where I felt that it was coming on, and then nothing happened with the pregnancy. So yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy times. And then so when it was time for me to be hospitalized, and also my daughter turned back around, so she was in the right position, everything was going well. And one of the ladies, Mama Rose, she's like, is the baby turned back around? You need to check. She kept bothering me. I was really mad. To be one of the first to view my videos, make sure you hit that bell to be notified when I upload my video each week. I was really annoyed. I was annoyed and I was mad that she kept asking me. And when they checked, she had flipped. So then I had to get a C-section. Within the C-section, you're not allowed to eat. So for the whole day I was in the hospital. So I fasted the night before, so meaning that I didn't vomit. And then the whole day, we went in at 9, I think. We didn't go into surgery until 9 in the evening. So for that whole time I hadn't eaten and I didn't vomit. I was so happy. And then the lady brings in some thing to make you stop vomiting, some white stuff. So I was pleading with her that I not take it, because I said I haven't vomited. That means that if you give it to me, I'm going to vomit. They put the epidural in, freeze me, all of that. And then I started vomiting after they strapped me down. Oh gosh, it was so bad. It's horrible. That was like that was not a nice experience. So I vomit. And they had to hold me down and hold my neck and twist my neck while the remainder of my body was frozen and my arms were strapped in. Yeah, it was crazy. And then I also had the vomiting after I had my daughter. I think it lasted for 3 months after, but it wasn't the intensity that it was when I was pregnant. I don't remember how much I vomited per day, but I know that the vomit wasn't as bad, but it did last for 3. And with my miscarriages, I vomited when I got pregnant, and then after I had the miscarriage, for 3 of them, I vomited, and then for the last 2, I don't remember if I vomited. I don't think I did. But yeah, it's quite the ride. But at least you have the beautiful reward of having a baby. And through it all, I prayed, I sang songs, I did relax a lot. I stayed away from people and their silly comments, because I took the diclectin. People were commenting about it. And so one story, I had 3 pills left. So remember, I have to take 3 pills a day for it to work. If I take 2 pills, I will vomit. Like, it would be like if it cancels out those other ones and I'll just vomit the way I was vomiting. So I had 3 pills and people were just making me feel really bad about taking the medication and the baby and stuff. And so my doctor kept encouraging me. He said, don't listen to people. Don't listen to them. Stay away from anyone who's making you feel a certain way. And I couldn't, right? Because those people were people that I was around. And I had 3 pills left. I made the decision I wasn't going to take anymore. I was going to come off of it. This was probably like, maybe I was seven months pregnant. And we go to church. Guys, I was fine up until, and then it just hit me. I just vomit. Thank God it was like to the end of church. It wasn't in church where I had to run and miss the bathroom. And then I just told my husband was like, what on earth? So then I had to run to the car. I ran to the car. I didn't make it. I just started vomiting in the parking lot. People were laughing. And they thought it was funny at first until they realized. And then I was just vomiting in the car. I had to grab a bag. So one of the things with it is you have to have bags, puke bags, all over the place, like in the car, in your purse. Don't be folding them up. You got to be able to pull them out quickly and do what you got to do. Make sure there's no holes. So I had my puke bags in the car. I vomited on the way out of the parking lot, and then it stopped a little bit on the highway. And then we hit a certain point and I just started vomiting again. By the time we got home, my poor husband just couldn't even handle it. I don't even know, poor thing. He leaves me in the car because I said, I just need some time so that I'm able to run. So I said, open up the door and then I'll run out and go to the bathroom. So I'm waiting until that portion, that time where it stops. And I run, it was winter time, I run, get in the backyard, and I just started vomiting. Oh gosh, I thank God that it was snowing and there was an ice bank, so I didn't have to bend down where the vomit would splash up on me. So I had to wait outside vomiting. Thank God no one else was home in the neighborhood. And then I run to the bathroom, I vomit. And then I come out with a bucket with water. My husband's like, where are you going? He's like, get back in that bathroom. And he said, listen here, you don't let anyone make you feel bad about taking the pill. So he gave me the pill. He said, take the pill. He said, take the pill. And so I took the pill. However, the pill needs 3 pills guys, 3 pills to get it to calm down. So I had the 3 pills left. I took the 1 pill, so I only literally had 2 pills left. And it was the grace of God that saved me, because I took the 1 pill, then I took the 1 pill at nighttime, and then it actually stopped until I was able to make it to the clinic. I refilled my prescription. I came back home, I vomit, and then I took the pill, because you can't take the pill before you vomit. That's the other thing, right? Or else you're just vomiting up the pill. So I took the pill after my vomit session, and then I got back on track. So yeah, guys, so if you are going through Hyperemesis Gravidarum, relax yourself and know that there are other women that are going through it. And just, I don't know what to say, because it's not like you could say, oh, relax, lay down. It's coming. It's going to come. But I think you just need to be at peace with it and take it in strides. Don't allow it to overwhelm you. Make sure that you eat. Although when you eat, you vomit, you drink, you vomit, at least your body is still getting the nutrition. Make sure you find that sweet spot in the middle of the night where you won't be vomiting at all. And I'm wondering if that's when the baby's like sleeping, dead asleep. So when you get up, it's not going to wake up. Yeah. And remember, my doctor said the baby is fine. It's you that's not fine. So you need to make sure you eat and give your body nutrients. So drink. If you vomit up food, like my mom said, you eat food. If you vomit up water, you drink water. If you're doing the whole gas thing that I was doing, gas, spit, all of that, it's just natural, and you're going to have a beautiful baby boy or girl in the end. And yeah, you're going to have a beautiful addition to your family. So congratulations on getting pregnant. And we'll see you next time on the art therapy session. So for the art therapy, you can actually like imagine or envision your baby. That's one of the things that I did, was just envision having my baby. And I used to sit in the bathroom on the tub and just sing worship songs, because they just made me feel better, and just remembering that, you know, you're being covered and all is well. May God bless you and bless you during this beautiful time in your life. And although it's just a little vomit, 9 months it will be over. It will be a distant memory, and yeah, and you have something to tell your child. And also make sure you remember it's inherited. So you make sure that if you had it, you'd let your daughters know that this is something that could happen to you. So one thing I forgot to say is that when you're going through hyperemesis, make sure you have a real good support team around you. Silence all the noise that you hear that is negative. Any jokes and comments, just release all of that, and try and find a good source of empowering people that are around you, and it will be easier for you to get by. If you want to show me any of your craft ideas, I do have my Instagram page where you are able to tag me in any of your projects. I also have my Facebook page where you're able to upload different DIY projects. You can check out the link in the description box. Now that you've listened to my story about having Hyperemesis Gravidarum, if you need a little bit of a relaxer, check out my tutorial on paper mache earrings or porcelain clay earrings. If you like this week's tutorial, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and share the content with your family and friends. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to leave a comment down below. And take care.